Hello, so here is the chart for the summer solstice, and as you can see, the rising sign is Gemini, right here, and that is ruled by Mercury, and this is in the second house, and it's also in the same house as the Sun and Jupiter. So there's this talk about finances. We have to look at the aspects to this Mercury as the ruler of the chart ruler. So it's in a square to Chiron in Aries. So this is about like self and the wounds of self. So it's kind of like self-worth when it's connected to this area of money. So there is a chance that there could be talks about finances, there could be talks about money, there could be communication issues around money and finances, and this could quite damage people's self-worth and how they feel about themselves and how they view themselves. But overall, this is a really, really, really positive chart for the solstice. That's just a little negative. Oh. So we then get into where the sun is. So as you can see, the sun is at 0 degrees and 0 minutes right here as it moves into Cancer. And that's literally what marks the summer solstices. So it's in the second house. So we can see that there's a highlighting of money, of values, of finances, financial things going to be coming up. Money is just like a major thing. With Jupiter being so close, that kind of expands. It means that there's a chance that we'll be spending more, or maybe looking for new ways of earning more, or it can be that prices might go up, and with it being Cancer, it could be like house prices. It can be just issues on the stock market. It could be things like inflation over the coming months. It's not to say any of these things will happen, and obviously, like, it's a bit broad to say that it would happen. Like, it wouldn't happen necessarily globally. So it all depends on different countries and different areas of the world. But it's certainly a thing, a big theme. This is about families and home, and it can also be about like national defence and the budgets they were talking about to do with defence budgets. And so this could see defence budgets literally just ridiculous money being spent. I mean, if everyone just stopped having fights, then it would, like, and having wars, it wouldn't really be necessary, would it, to spend all that money? It really is that simple. But anyway, so there is issues around these sorts of things, but there's so many positive aspects, and it is really a positive time. I mean, Jupiter is exalted here. We've got links to the moon over here at 0 degrees also, so it makes a really lovely sextile, as you can see here. The moon is in it's also exalted here, so we've got two planets like exalted. That's sort of like in some ways, so like a planet in home is just like really calm, casual, but when it's exalted, it can be a bit like going on holiday. Sometimes holidays can be a little bit wild, so they can go a little bit wild at times when there's a planet exalted, like overexcited, over the top. But and particularly with Jupiter, it's like the planet which is about exaggerations and excess. So I mean, there is levels of that could be present. So just literally just like, keep steady. Don't overspend. Really consider stuff like that. Maybe like savings would be a good thing to do at this time, because it will just expand and expand. But the 12th house can be about secrets and hidden things. So there's going to be some shocking revelations, because we have this like Uranus here, 29 degrees, and it's in the 12th house. So this is like real shock. It can obviously cause, this can be an area which is like hospitals and like healthcare and rehabilitation, stuff like that. But it can also be endings. So there could be some shock endings, shock deaths even. And then there's this like female here, or the like Venus, the feminine, the planet of love. So yeah, there's worries about somebody's, like a female, maybe a marriage or a secret love affair particularly could come out in the news, or something like along those lines. Okay, so if we just rub those out. And if we look at what else have we got going on? We've got lots going on. So if we go straight into okay, so we could look at the midheaven. So the midheaven up here is what's going on, like in the sort of that's seen, that's public, that's out in the world. And this is about like the overseas things, travel, tourism, just things going on overseas. And then with Pluto so close to the midheaven, this is really going to transform things. This can bring, like Pluto can be about deaths, endings, rebirth. And this is like overseas. So there's something going on overseas which can see like quite significant things, but it's like very transformational. It just transforms completely. And this can also be things online. So this could bring big changes online, banking, currencies, just issues around the internet. So it could mean that the internet is going to sort of go through a death rebirth phase, or just like not be available. So like no internet maybe for a while. So that can be to do with solar flares and all sorts of issues like that, but overall it should be pretty good. The North Node here in the 10th house, which is about like careers and working and all that sort of stuff. So we're going to be like quite driven to be seen out there in the world, building our legacies, going to work, doing all those sorts of things. But also with this being Pisces, this can be quite it can be quite like connected to spirituality and stuff like that. So I think there's going to be like people trying to do that sort of thing more. Right, so if we look at the yods, because I mentioned those in the report, which is on my Facebook if anyone wants to check that out. But there's these yods here, the finger of God aspects. So there's 2 quincunxes and a sextile at the base. So we have, then you have to be really tight with the orbs. So we have this Mars at 2 degrees, Jupiter at 2 degrees. The Sun is obviously connected then to Jupiter because they're within a few degrees of each other, but it's more specifically with Jupiter. So this can be like just so much action, taking action, working hard at home, taking care of others. So this can be about taking care of family, and in the 4th house it's home, family, and it's just incredibly motivated, action orientated. What you also have to see is we've got like Regulus, which is the star, which is like Leo. And then we've got, this is marked as Isis here, but this is trans-Pluto, which is really a planet that is, well, it's not a planet, it's a point in space, which is really about transformation. It's a point which brings massive change, and with it being like connected to this as well, so this can really suggest that there's some action being taken which is really transformational. So we have a couple of things which are just really pointing to change. This makes more of everything. So this is just like, if you're busy, you're really busy. It's just making it like just non-stop. This has got to be done, that's got to be done. It's almost like you know, when people say like they're addicted to like cortisol, and you just can't, that sort of stress hormone, and you just keep going and going and going, and you can't seem to stop. Then, so this is the problem. This is the thing that we're trying to resolve things like from this point. Like as Einstein said, it's like you can't find the solution to a problem using the same mindset that created the problem in the first place. So this is just the problem. It's just like busy, 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 busy all the time, not finding the time to transform and change and do all the things you need. And this is pointing us then up to Pluto, which, as we say, it's like out there in the world, it's being seen. It's about overseas travel, and learning deeper at a deeper level. So it's like deep depths, but then it's just about this whole transformation, rebirth. There can be quite a lot of manifestation work with Pluto sometimes, but it basically is about change, and it's about things coming up from below the surface. So it's like very revolutionary, because it's like the secrets are out. It reveals things. It can also be quite intense and deep. So we have this whole period of time where it's asking us to sort of look deeper. It's also about going inward, so like looking within ourselves, and just slowing down, because it's gonna literally slow you down from this whole busy rushing around, doing like just taking that time to transform, to go deeper, to get to know yourself and change, bring the changes that are necessary. Pluto, the Sabian symbol for Pluto at this point is, I'm going to have to look it up specifically, but it is to do with, like a Hindu yogi shows people the way. So it's a case of, like meditating, taking time to breathe, relax, do exercises, do all those sorts of things which are just going to really, really help you align and be more spiritual and be more healthy and feel better. Pluto can also be about toxins and stuff like that. So cutting out toxins or detoxing would also be a really good thing. So like cutting out the toxins. I mean, that ain't everything these days, aren't they? Like all the food or like water is just like everything. So yeah, cutting out all that sort of stuff and just really going deeper, finding ways to go deeper and just sort of heal, because it can also be about medicine, it can be about healing, it can be a lot of that sort of stuff. So let's have a look. There's another yod. There is a second yod, and this time the yod has this Neptune at 2 degrees, but it's connected also to Saturn. So we've got Neptune at 2 degrees, and then it has over the other side of this sextile, we've got Pluto as well. Sextiles are like harmonious. They just naturally are sort of occurring without us even noticing it. And so we have this whole thing where this Neptune here with Saturn is just literally breaking down the old structures of power and conforming, and how society has been restricted and made to behave in certain ways. It can also be very much about spirituality, religions, because Saturn is like very much the rules of how we connect to our gods and how we are to be spiritual and religious. So it's interesting that it can be about that. And Neptune can be things like the seas, water, overseas, things happening. Immigration, I've found, comes up quite a lot when this is being activated with this Saturn and Neptune. So there's quite a lot of issues around immigration all over the world at the moment. Pluto can obviously be like I say, it can be like death, rebirth, but it can be like endings in certain countries where they're having wars, so people are having to immigrate. It can be certain things around just this can be about secrets and hidden things, like things below the surface. This can be about water, and so there's talks about underwater volcanoes, underwater revelations, things coming up from below the seas. But yeah, there's just so much going on in this area as well. This can be like literal spirits and spirituality and not connecting with your own spirits, and then suddenly they just start coming through. So for some people that could happen. And then if we go down all the way here, we find them this time it's like Mars at the peak. And the Sabian symbol for Mars at this degree is 2 guardian angels. So there's something guiding us in the direction where we need to go. But this is about taking action. And with it being in Virgo, it's taking action in a way that is of help or service to others. It has an element of compassion to it, but it also has an element of detail as well. So it can be about detailed action, but this is very much about taking action. And then, like I say, with these two, like Regulus and also trans Pluto here, it is a case of taking action to change. Like changes won't just come naturally. You're going to have to take action to make that happen. So there's some sort of something guiding us to do something to change. For some people, this is going to be about moving home. A lot of people moving home possibly over the next few months, because it's in the 4th house. Mars in the 4th house can tend to be about changing things in your home life. So it can be moving house or complete change, renovations, things changing at home. Very much so. So yeah, that's in a very small nutshell. That is some of the things which are going to be coming up over the summer solstice. Thanks very much for watching this video. Bye for now.